A couple of weeks ago, Universal made their official announcement for Epic Universe, their brand new park finally coming to Orlando in 2025. And this has been in the works for a while now, with delays stemming all the way back to the pandemic. But they're finally in full swing construction and give official details about a lot of the park. So today in this video, I wanted to go over everything we officially know about the park, everything we mostly know from construction, and how Epic Universe could be the last puzzle piece that Universal needs to finally dethrone Disney. First though, let's talk about what we know. This park is going to be split up into 5 lands with different portals into each land. There's Celestial Park, Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon Land, another Harry Potter world, and Dark Universe. Now personally, I think these are all slam dunks. The least interesting one is Celestial Park, and there's still an entire dueling coaster in it. I guess we should start by talking about this land because this is the one we have the most information on. This serves as the main entrance of the park and is filled with a lot of greenery and fountains and such. As they put it in the video, it puts the park back in theme parks. No, really, they actually said that. Celestial Park is basically the main hub for Epic Universe. If you want to get from one land to another, you have to go through Celestial Park. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because it looks really nice. I think it's a cool idea to have these portals that are all connected to the same central location. It makes a transition from one land to another not as jarring. I know that might not make sense because going through these portals from green nature to spooky dark universe might seem really jarring, but I think it fixes a transitioning problem a lot of parks have. Imagine if this park had just been built in a big circle with all the lands connecting to one another. That would be infinitely more awkward going from bubbly Super Mario World to evil Dark Universe. So I like this idea. The only issue I have with these portals is it might be a bit of a choke point, but the Universal engineers are smarter than me and they've definitely already thought of a way to fix it. But back to the land, this is going to be home to Starfall Racers, which is a massive mock rides dueling coaster. This is going to be the biggest coaster in the park and it's pretty much just a roller coaster. Like there's some space theming in the back half with mist and planet statues, but it's mostly about the coaster elements Six Flags style. And I think that really works. Having a ride that's just about thrills, especially in a central hub land like Celestial Park, makes sense, and on top of that, it's a pretty good looking ride. I'm not going to get too deep into the nitty-gritty layout because there's still so much to talk about with this park, but it looks like one of the best dueling coasters in the US. This land also has a carousel, some shopping locations, and a really cool looking restaurant. I think it's a really nice home base that sets a high bar for the rest of the park, but I will admit it's not quite as interesting as the other lands, so let's talk about Super Nintendo World. This is the one that we know the second most about, mostly because it's already open in Japan and California. But the thing is, this isn't a carbon copy of them. This is opening with a brand new Donkey Kong themed land and it looks awesome. I mean, just look at this. How could you not like it? It's so colorful and vibrant. It's just really well done. Like, look at this Piranha Plant. Look at this Thwomp Womp. I mean, I feel like I'm in freaking like pixels here. This land is home to 2 major rides with the Mario Kart VR ride and the Donkey Kong roller coaster. There's also a 3rd Yoshi ride, which is a nice slow edition for kids, but it's not super noteworthy, so I'm not going to go super in depth with it. What is noteworthy, however, is the Mario Kart Augmented Reality Dark Ride. This takes you through different iconic races from the franchise, and I know a lot of people were disappointed that this isn't a test track racing style ride because as you can see, it's pretty slow. But honestly, I think that's for the better. This park already has a ton of thrill rides, so I think having an e-ticket full family ride was a smart play. And honestly, if it was faster than this, then the theming wouldn't be anywhere near as good because you'd just be going by it too fast. You wouldn't even see it. It's beautiful. It looks straight ripped from the video games. I grew up playing Mario Kart and Nintendo games as a whole, so I might be a little biased towards this land, but even for people who don't play the video games, like, it's Mario. How could you not like it? And if you want that thrilling experience, then look no further than the Donkey Kong roller coaster. This looks to be one of Universal's most innovative rides yet, as they're using new patented jump track technology to simulate the train jumping off the coaster track over broken holes. And that just sounds awesome. This is a fully new ride that we don't know that much about, but from construction, it looks like either Intamin or Mach is building it. And even though it is a roller coaster, there's still really cool theming surrounding it. Also, I really like how this land is split into the Mario section and the Donkey Kong country. I just think it's cool how there's almost too many lands within this one land that kind of both feel connected. Now, besides the rides, they have this interactive game band that doesn't look super crazy, but sure, some people will like it. And they have some shops and a couple places to eat, most notably Toadstool Cafe, and I'm sure they'll have some like Banana Shack in the Donkey Kong Country section. I really like this land as a whole, so I'm glad that they're finally building it in Florida, but I can't talk about it all day, so I'm going to move on to the new Harry Potter world at the opposite end of the park. Now, saying this is a Harry Potter land is a little misleading because it's actually another wizarding world. And I make that distinction because most of it isn't actually about the Harry Potter series. It's about Fantastic Beasts. And personally, I'm a little disappointed about that because I didn't really like those movies, and the streets of Paris that they chose kind of just look like regular streets of Paris. But there is one saving grace in that the ride, which is covered by all this scaffolding, is supposed to be one of the best Universal has ever built. This ride is actually themed to Harry Potter, specifically the Ministry fight at the end of Order of the Phoenix, which I've always thought would make a really cool trackless dark ride. Aside from that though, I don't really know what's gonna be in this land. I mean, I'm sure it'll be insanely detailed and they'll have have some fantastic beasts. Actually, you know what? No, I trust Universal. Every time they've touched Harry Potter and like the Wizarding World as a whole, they've struck gold, and Diagon Alley only has one major ride also, but I easily think it's the coolest area of the park. This also has that cramped Harry Potter feeling that'll probably work in its favor, so if the dark ride really is everything they're hyping it up to be, I'm sure this will be another great land. Next, Dark Universe. This is the land I'm most excited to see take shape. I'm 100% sure when this opens, it's going to be the coolest land to be in at night. If you go to Dark Universe in the morning, you are actually an idiot, because dark is literally in the name. The lighting and effects and staff and rides are all going to be so much vibier at night, and I just think it's a really cool idea bringing in all of these beloved characters that everyone knows into one area and giving them the spotlight that they've never really had. There are two main rides here. One is a werewolf mock ride spinning coaster that has a swing launch in a shed, and it looks pretty cool, but it's nothing super crazy. The other one in the back though, I can't wait to see what it is, because that's the thing. It's like this massive manor all the way in the back of the land that's themed to Frankenstein and Dracula, and I have no idea what kind of type of ride it is. It's kind of reminding me of Forbidden Journey. Like, I'm not saying that it's going to have that Omni Claw ride system, but with a building this big and an idea this original, the level of detail I feel like is going to be pretty similar. Now beyond the rides, there's also two places to eat, with the cool looking snack shack and the Burning Blades Tavern, which will have a spinning blade out front that looks pretty cool. Also, I just love the walkways and design language of this land. Like I said, it's gonna feel like friggin' Halloween as a 12-year-old when you're here at night. The slanted roofs and dark colors and gothic architecture are all gonna make a super eerie atmosphere when you're going from ride to ride. You can already see it taking place through all the scaffolding and construction. This also has the coolest entrance, and I know that looking at it online, there's a lot of like fog and stuff, so you might think there's no way it's actually gonna look this good, and then boom, it actually looks this good. I really like the way that the land is shaping up, and it's my most anticipated out of the 4 ones, and it's actually the most unique. But there's still one more I want to talk about with How to Train Your Dragon Land, and personally, this is my least favorite. I'm just not a huge fan of the How to Train Your Dragon series to begin with, and the main attraction is yet another roller coaster where, surprise, you're riding the dragon. There's some cool theming, and it looks like a fun layout, but it's nothing super groundbreaking. There's also these 2 air flyer rides, which I think are a little weird because they're like pretty much carbon clones, and I feel like Disney and Universal are kind of above these type of Cedar Fair flat rides, but I guess in this case it kind of goes with the theme, I guess. I don't know, I don't want to shortchange this land because I still think it'll be really fun for anyone who's a fan of the series. I'm just not personally, so it doesn't really excite me that much. And I know that was kind of a sour note to end on, but that's all of Epic Universe, and personally, I still think it looks amazing. I also think it's going to be a really big problem for Disney. Why, you might ask? Well, the answer is right in their announcement video.
This gives us the opportunity to bring people to Universal Orlando for an entire week.
Did you catch that? Entire week. They didn't just mention it in a throwaway line at the end or the description below. They made it a point to make it sure that we knew that this park makes Universal Resort a week-long destination. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the whole point of the park. Of course, it's for the new lands and great new rides coming, but even more so, it's the checkmate on Disney that they've been building up to for years. You see, ever since they opened the most recent park, Animal Kingdom, the duration of a stay at Disney World has been steadily increasing. Whereas before, a Disney vacation could be to the broader Orlando area and only stopping by the Magic Kingdom for a day or two, nowadays people cater their entire vacation around Disney World and spending even 5, 6, even 7 days in the resort, with a lot of agencies recommending a full week for the full experience. And even if they're not going to parks every day, more time on the resort means more hotel nights, more meals at a Disney restaurant, just more opportunities to spend in general. Families will stay on the property for a week, but maybe only go to 3 Disney parks, but in the spare days they'll explore the restaurants, spend a day at Disney Springs, and maybe even hit up a water park. Then maybe one of the days they'll take the trek down to Universal Parks to see Harry Potter Land, but it's so far and they have to take all these buses and get new wristbands and download new apps, so by the end of the day they're just aching to get back to the Disney bubble. This is exactly what they want. By isolating you and their property, Disney kind of alienates Universal, and for the longest time Universal was pretty much helpless to this. Disney just had more to do and there was nothing they could really do about it. But slowly but surely, Universal's been building up their catalog to shift that balance. They've been building up their hotels, opened the brand new water park, and now opened their biggest and most ambitious theme park yet. And that's not even to mention all the eye-catching new rides in their existing parks like Hagrid's and Velocicoaster. Epic Universe marks the official start to the new era of Universal, one where you could spend 5 or 6 days on the resort in order to get the full experience. It's now more direct competition. There will definitely be a lot of people who would choose to go the Universal route and just throw in a Disney park like Hollywood Studios for Star Wars Land on a random off day. And with the rising Disney prices, weakening infrastructure, and some additions that have fallen flat in their face, staying completely at Universal is looking more and more enticing. Now, does this mean that Universal is going to completely squash Disney out of Florida? No. That was mostly clickbait for the title, but they're going to take a lot bigger piece of the pie in Orlando and could very well overtake Disney as the most popular chain. And that is why I think this park is so significant, because if this is successful and Universal thrives, they'll continue adding these high quality and especially ambitious attractions to all of their parks so they can have success everywhere. And I'm sure they would continue to invest in their Orlando parks for the years to come. But that's just what I think about Epic Universe. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Is it actually the ace up Universal sleeve, or is it just gonna flop? Again, let me know what you think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you next time.